Insert generic YouTube intro. Alright, in today's video, we're going to be talking about Kagura Bachi, which is probably the most anticipated or hyped manga from Jump ever, including the fact that the manga has not even been released in Japan yet. As of today, September 17th, it does come out today. But I kind of just want to give you guys some information on what this manga really is. Now, I've seen hella comments, hella tweets, TikToks about how Kagura Bachi is going to be the next Gen 3, next big Gen 3 with Jujutsu Kaisen, Black Clover, Demon Slayer, My Hero. That's hella crazy. The manga has not even been released yet. Yet, people are saying, oh, the main character, he's one of the strongest main characters ever. He's the best written. He's my favorite character. Bro, how can he be the best written character if he's not even been written yet? What the hell? I'm literally on the Kagura Bachi Discord, and hella, y'all been simping like crazy. Look at this. Oh, yeah. My man just killed Gojo. Feels bad, man. People are hella simping for this man. And honestly, I understand, man. I'm simping for him too, man. He's hella hot. But anyways, why is this anime so hyped? Why is everyone talking about it? Why are there so many articles talking about this talking about this manga? Holy shit, I cannot speak today. All we know is that it is a revenge story of a young swordsmith fighting evil. Now, Shonen Jump did release this on September 14th. And essentially it just states that it's a former swordsmith apprentice who embarks on a bloodthirsty path to fight a gang of sorcerers who have taken over the city. Now, I don't think that this is the entire story of the entire manga. It seems like a pretty short story. And I do believe that I'm correct because there actually have been leaks of the first chapter in Japan. And the first chapter essentially is just him taking a bunch of sorcerers. So I do think that this synopsis might just be the first couple chapters or the first couple arcs. Now, the synopsis does seem a little interesting, but not super unique. I do find it interesting that the world seems to be revolved around sorcery, around magic, yet the main character is just a swordsman, so he's kind of unique in his own world. But I don't think that's the main reason why people are getting so much hype from this. I think the main reason is because the art looks hella dope and everyone's already simping on the main character. I think the main reason why this manga is getting that much hype is literally because of the main character's design. He looks so cold. Here, I have some pictures here. Look at him, bro. Look at him. Zaddy material. I think the reason why people love this main character is because he has that it factor that a lot of characters have that are so beloved. So, like, kind of like that look in their eyes that kind of portray that they're cold, calm, collected. They have this confidence to them. Kind of that same look that like characters like Zoro have. That water Hashira of Demon Slayer, Giyu, Levi, I've been watching too much chess recently. Levi, Benimaru, characters like them. Now, I can't confirm if this is true, but many people are saying that this manga is heavily inspired by Zoro from One Piece, Ichigo from Bleach, Demon Slayer in general. Now, from the leaks that I saw, I do kind of see that. Now, most katana across all anime, spoiler alert, ignore the bodies, most katana are designed very similar across all anime. But I do see the similarities in the way the hilt is drawn to Zoro's swords, as well as the way he kind of holds them. He has two on one side, similar to Zoro, who has three on his one side. But again, this could just be a coincidence. But where I do see a lot of similarities is actually from Demon Slayer. Now, I will be spoiling a lot of the first chapter, so if you don't want to see that, cool. You can skip through this part. I'll leave a timestamp somewhere down below. But at first glance, this is the main art. We see at first glance that there are some bubbles coming off of his sword. And in the first time he unsheaths his sword, he kind of summons these two koi fish that circle around him. Now, when he attacks, the koi fish do follow him, but it doesn't look like there's any added effect. He's just kind of slicing them normally here. We still see the bubbles coming up, but same thing here, just like a normal slice, and the koi fish is still there. So I believe it's similar to Demon Slayer, where it's just purely visual, purely artistic. I think he's just like, it is those koi fish aren't actually real, similar to like the breathing style in Demon Slayer. But again, I could be wrong. This is just me kind of just theorizing here. So in Demon Slayer terms, you could have like water breathing or like koi fish breathing. But what I do find interesting is that he only uses one sword. Now, that could mean that his other sword, when he unsheathes it, could be another power, another like breathing style or something. Now, this doesn't necessarily have to mean anything, but like, for example, with Zoro, even though he uses 3 swords, he doesn't have to use all of them all the time. Like, if he's fighting little like poopy babies, little stinky poopy babies, some little Goombas, like, he just uses one sword, it's fine. So maybe same thing over here, he's just using one sword, he doesn't need both of his swords. But we just have to wait and see. Now, is this going to succeed? Is this going to flop? Honestly, I have no clue. I can't tell the future, of course. But there's 3 things that I wanted to highlight here. Number 1 is that Jump isn't shy from canceling shit right away. Mangas like Ayashimon, Hunter's Guild, Candy Flurry, DD, there you go, DD. Mangas like DD. These are were somewhat popular in the West, but I think the main priority for Jump is it popular in Japan? Now, is Kagura Bachi popular in Japan? Again, I don't know. I only have the West view, which in that case is hella popular already. I would gamble that this would get popular in Japan as well, just because, yeah, sure, you can have an amazing storyline, an amazing plot, something very, very unique. But, you know, the old classic, the good old simp bucket, the simp factor that everyone's filling up, you know? The main character, actually, no, that's the main reason why Marvel is so successful. They actually advertise their actors so much that people simp for them, right? People are already simping for the main character, so I do have strong beliefs that this is actually going to perform pretty well. The second thing that I want to highlight is that a lot of flagships from Jump are actually near the end of their manga. So Oda confirmed that One Piece is on its last leg. What does that mean? Honestly, with Oda, I have no idea. There could be a couple of 100 episodes left. He has said, here, let me get close and personal here. He has said that Whitebeard, actually, let me whip out a little picture of Whitebeard. Oda has said that behind Whitebeard's beard, or his mustache, apologize, there is a zipper where he stores bananas. Confirmed by Oda. So with Oda, I have no idea, but honestly, I trust him. So there could be just a couple of arcs left before One Piece is done. Same thing with Jujutsu Kaisen. The main fight between Sukuna and Gojo is concluding, and Kenjaku, the other villain, is going to appear anytime at this point. My Hero is also at the last chapters. His chapter's away from finishing. Now we could have another Chainsaw Man situation where the author finishes the main story and continues to write a new story with the same characters. Oh, what was I talking about? Yes. But after the Makima arc, everyone pretty much just dropped the manga, so that's not going to save Jump. Jump is looking for a new flagship that is supposed to kind of fill those needs there, have essentially replace the mangas for the readers to read. And again, this is garnering a lot of traction, even though it's not even been released yet. So I do think that this has readers invested in this manga. Now, the third thing and the last thing that I wanted to mention is that, which is, I think this is the most scary point, the most little sussy baka point ever, and it's that it's the main character's personality. The way he's being portrayed, again, I mentioned this before, he has that kind of that archetype of like that cold, calm, collected characters, like the ones I mentioned before, Levi, Benimaru, Giyu, even like Sasuke, Escanor. This archetype is used in anime and manga for the sake of the audience to essentially simp for them. They beat ass and eat ass. Respectfully. And honestly, that's their purpose. They're essentially too cool for school. Not that these are necessarily one-dimensional characters. I love these characters, but their job is to just be daddy, be zaddy. You get what I'm trying to say here? I think that this main character falls into that archetype. But the scary thing is that there needs to be more than just that if he's supposed to be the main character. He should be a bit more complex. And the main characters that I mentioned before, even though they're important characters, the story isn't being told in their perspective. So they're allowed to be a bit less complex. So he can't just be only a simp bucket. I think a good example of this is Zoro from One Piece and Kageyama from Haikyuu. So these characters, for example Zoro, like, even though they fall into the same archetype, even though Zoro has kind of that simple mind, he's a bit simple-minded, he is a complex character with his own goals and desires. Same thing with Kageyama. You actually see him kind of the classic too cool for school archetype, but over time, seeing that he's actually changing, his morality is changing. Other examples could be like Escalade, Greed, Roy Mustang. I think a bad example of this is Todoroki. Again, the classic too cool for school, but at the beginning he's like, oh, I hate everything, I hate myself, I hate my dad. As we all do. All good, bro, all good, all chill, no worries. But once he changes, which happens so late in the manga, and happens actually pretty abruptly, he just loses his entire personality. So what I'm trying to say here is that the main character in Kagura Bachi has to be more complex if the story is supposed to be told in his perspective. And I can't really think of any other main character who's kind of like that. So I think that this might be a hard hurdle to overcome, but we'll see. Anyways, the author who wrote Kagura Bachi, or who's writing currently Kagura Bachi, is actually pretty new. He has written 5 one-shots before, 2 of which have actually garnered some attention. For the first one, called Chain, which is about 2 ninjas who are fighting a serial killer. But the main one, which actually got jumped to actually kickstart Kagura Bachi, is called Roku no Mieku, or Rock's Death Testament, which is about a cute little demon that offers Rock, or Roku, immortality for a century, as well as powers in exchange for being essentially a hitman for the demon. I haven't read any of these, but I've heard only good things. But alas, I will read the chapter when it comes out, and I will give you guys an update. Now, before the video ends, I did want to say that I am just starting making YouTube videos just for fun, honestly. I'm just doing this on the side. But if you have any suggestions or advice on what you want this channel to become, what animes, what mangas you want me to talk about, I have some ideas for Blue Lock. But if you have any other ideas, just let me know in the comments down below. Also, please like and subscribe. That will help me a lot. Also help me increase my video quality. I know my setup is ass as hell. Your boy's gotta do what he gotta do. But anyways, see you later. I'm gonna go curb stomp some freaking Goombas, beat up some stupid ass Hilly Churls. Goodbye.